of like a picture of Denzel, and it's got that almost Jacob's ladder.
Yeah, he's got
like that kind of motion blur to it.
Yeah, he's got the glasses, right?
Yeah, it looks very similar to the Jacob's ladder poster. But the original teaser poster, the one with the political button on it, is awesome if you can find any kind of artwork on that. So that's my first rec. And then my second, because I'm going to assume that this show is going to come out probably tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And we're recording Wednesday, so it will come out Thursday on New Year's Eve, last day of the year. As is tradition on the year-end show, is to recommend the Twilight Zone Marathon on Sci-Fi, their New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, 48 hours straight of the Twilight Zone, which I always end up watching as much as I can, and this year especially, since I'm not working, I don't have to go to work, got nowhere to go. So it's going to be as much Twilight Zone as I can absorb over the next 48 hours. That's one of my all-time favorite TV shows. It was a show that was way ahead of its time when it came out in the late 50s and early 60s. Uh-huh. And, I think I might have mentioned last week, if it didn't get cut, that Rod Serling is a genius. He was the creator of the Twilight Zone, and he wrote the bulk of the episodes. And he was really far ahead as socially as a lot of people in that era were at the time, and a lot of his work for like racial equality, and this came out during the Cold War, so a lot of the episodes deal with nuclear destruction. Uh-huh. Just a lot of socially conscious episodes that he did that were ahead of where everyone else was at the time. And I think he's one of the greatest writers of the generation.
Yeah, Twilight Zone rules, man. I'm glad you're always wrecking this.
Dude, I'm telling you, that's like probably one of my 3 favorite TV shows ever. I love it so much. There's 156 episodes. Not every single one of them is a winner. There's a couple clunkers in there, and especially in the last season. But overall, there's some amazing episodes that still, when I watch them today, even though they're 50, almost 60 years old, maybe even over 60 years old, that are incredible, and still just like the depth of the writing and the message that Serling was trying to convey is incredible. So yeah, like, check out the Twilight Zone. It's good sci-fi. It's a great anthology series. It's one of the best. And I don't think that any other remake of the show has ever come close to touching the original's legacy.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, that's it's too tough to live up to, as are a lot of classics.
Yeah, and honestly, why try?
Definitely.
Why try?
I think it's interesting that you I could be wrong, but I believe you said you've never watched The Outer Limits?
I've never seen The Outer Limits. No. I know that's another pretty classic sci-fi anthology series from, I don't think that was concurrent with the Twilight Zone. I think that came a little bit later.
Uh-huh.
Like towards the late 60s. I could be wrong. I'd have to look that up. But no, I've seen a couple Night Gallery episodes, which is another anthology series that Rod Serling did maybe 4 or 5 years after the Twilight Zone had ended. Mm-hmm. I've seen a couple Night Gallery episodes, but I've never seen The Outer Limits. Another really good one that was on kind of around the same time as Twilight Zone was Alfred Hitchcock Presents.
Ah, okay.
It was another really good anthology series. That's the outline of Hitchcock. Mm-hmm. And then he would step in the frame into the outline and then address the audience, much like Rod Serling does with the Twilight Zone. That was pretty good. I'd say check that one out too. But Twilight Zone Marathon, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, check it out. Sci-Fi Channel. This episode is probably going to be an extended recommendations episode just because of the various stuff that you and I have watched that we're going to speak about. Those are my two direct recommendations. Hey, check this movie out. Check out The Twilight Zone on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day.
Sounds good. I just have two for you as well.
Awesome.
I rewatched Denzel classic as well. I think it was last week. Training Day.
Training Day is great.
Yeah, and it's Denzel's. Denzel just had a birthday on December 28th, so just a couple days ago. So it's definitely
like 66.
I think you're correct.
Yeah, dude, still got it going on, man.
Yeah,
still a good actor.
Training Day. Ethan Hawke, Antoine Fuqua. It's written by David Ayer, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, it's a solid crooked cop movie. I'm sure everybody has seen it out there, but give it a rewatch, man. It's still like a lot of fun, and I think it holds up.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. Denzel is so good in that, and credit where credit's due. So is Ethan Hawke. He's great in it too.
Yeah, he's a great. He does the whole live wire. Very like anxious. He has this specific way of acting, and it just really works for him. I think. There's a lot of cameos in that.
There's a guy that's in it. He's one of the guys in the neighborhood. He pops up in almost every single David Ayer or Antoine Fuqua movie. Oh
yeah, I know who you're talking about. Where he's the guy who's like, Denzel comes when you get introduced to everybody in that neighborhood, and when Denzel's character walks away, he's like, man, I'm tired of that motherfucker or whatever.
Yeah, that guy. He's in a bunch of other Ayer movies and maybe even a few more Fuqua movies. But I recognize he's in. I just rewatched End of Watch not too long ago. He's in that.
Oh yeah, when he's like he boxes Michael Pena, right?
Yeah.
Damn. Did you?
There's. I know that he's in. I believe he's in Harsh Times. I think he's in Street Kings. Mm-hmm. I could be wrong on him being in a couple other Antoine Fuqua movies, but he's in a bunch of the other Ayer projects. What were you going to ask? You were going to ask something. I think I cut you off.
Oh, I was going to say, I remember you didn't watch End of Watch for quite a while after it had been out. Do you enjoy that film? It's
pretty solid. Both Michael Pena and Gyllenhaal are really good in it.
Yeah, together, their chemistry.
Yeah, they're really, really good. The thing I don't like about it is the obvious amateur acting from some of the gang members.
Oh, yeah, where they don't know what to say.
They don't know what to say, and people who don't have like a good kind of improv headset.
Yeah.
Kind of just, when they go to improv dialogue, they just end up saying fuck a million times. And it really gets on my nerves. It's why I hate the Blair Witch Project. One of the reasons why I hate the Blair Witch Project so much.
Yeah, you don't care about them in the first place when you need to connect with the characters and what they're going through, but they're just like kind of annoying assholes the whole time.
Yeah, it's super amateur acting, and from what a lot of End of Watch seems, it's got more of an improv feel to it. Mm-hmm. And I could be wrong. I mean, I know that it was written, but a lot of the scenes feel like some improvisation is happening. And there's some super amateur acting from some of those gang members. It's awful. But the rest of the movie is pretty solid. And like I said, Gyllenhaal and Pena are so fucking good together in that movie. But the Ayer project, I think a lot of other people kind of sleep on, is Street Kings, which I really enjoy.
Yep. Keanu is a pretty good asshole in that one.
Yeah. Yeah, I think some people don't give that movie the credit it's deserving of. And Chris Evans is really good in it too.
Yep, that guy. Even though I feel like the Captain America haunts him or whatever, but he's got some good other stuff. He's well rounded. I think.
Yeah, I think like you said, the Captain America thing is going to be, his thing for a while. That's what he's going to be known for. But I mean, you and I spoke like glowingly about Knives Out last year.
Yeah, and
he's so good in Knives Out.
Did you hear about him being the Buzz and the Buzz Lightyear like standalone picture for Pixar?
I haven't read that. Is that like a live action thing? Are they going to make like a live action Toy Story now?
No, I don't think it's live action. It's basically. Have you seen the original Toy Story?
No, I've never seen any of the Toy Story movies. Believe it or not.
Wow. Well, anyway, I'm sure
nothing against them. I can watch them sometime, but I have not seen any of them.
You're missing out, man. But so obviously, all of the toys kind of have their own backstory. And for Buzz Lightyear, he's like a space ranger, and it's quite obvious in the first film that the toy is based upon this like huge iconic character from a film. So I think that's what Pixar's doing is. They're actually creating the universe of the real Space Ranger that Buzz the toy is based on. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so Chris Evans is going to be, Buzz, and he made it clear that he's not replacing Tim Allen, but they're just changing the voice for. I guess they probably wanted somebody a little younger now. Tim Allen is getting up there, but interesting move for Pixar. But yeah, going back to Training Day, it's a lot of fun. Check it out on HBO Max. And then I wanted to talk about something a little bit more obscure. I know you're talking about how I love every horror movie and whatnot.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning is the best horror movie of all time. Nah, you're not as bad as some other people I know.
The Beginning.
And I just mainly do it to break your chops.
Oh, okay. I went back and I found this on HBO Max of all places. The original Stepfather.
Oh, with Terry O'Quinn.
Yeah.
I've seen that movie.
Yeah, I really liked it. I've seen it a long time ago. I didn't really remember it. And the remake was PG-13 and not very good.
Yeah.
So I went back and I watched this and I had a lot of fun with it, man. It's I feel like it's very simplistic, but it works, and it's always fun to go back and watch a period piece like that and see how like what the mindset was. You know what I mean?
It's kind of like one of those mid to late 80s thrillers that is possibly a horror movie, possibly not, kind of like The Hitcher, which is it's really good in its simplicity. And I think that the Stepfather kind of falls into that same category.
Yeah, because they don't really go over like it's not like super gory or anything apart from a few scenes, but it's very much a thriller that has, I guess, horror elements because nobody wants to go through something like that, of course. But yeah, no. Terry O'Quinn is so good in it.
I think that guy's a super underrated actor. He's always been pretty great in whatever he pops up in, whether it's movies or TV shows.
Definitely agree. That's from was it 1987? It's got an 88 on Rotten, so surprisingly, because I don't think this movie did very well when it came out. But it's very fun. Yeah,
it's a good movie. I think years ago, I'm talking like 20, maybe even more than that years ago, Entertainment Weekly had like a list of like the top 25 horror movies of all time. and I believe Stepfather was on there. That's why I watched it originally, because I had never seen it, and I was trying to make my way through that list.